There are seasons in life when it feels like everything is falling apart, doors closing, relationships ending, silence from heaven. In those moments, we're tempted to run, to quit, to question if God even sees us. But I want you to hear this clearly. This pain has a purpose. Most people view pain as a sign that something is wrong, that they've made a mistake, that they're being punished, or that they've somehow fallen out of favor with God. But the truth is, pain is often the evidence that God is preparing you for something greater. It is not a punishment, it is a tool, a divine instrument that reshapes who you are from the inside out. Think about it. Before a tree bears fruit, it goes through pruning. That cutting, that stripping, it hurts, but it's necessary for growth. In the same way, God removes things in our lives not to hurt us, but to align us with His will, to clear space for what's to come. He allows discomfort because comfort never produces character. Pain is the classroom of the Spirit. It teaches lessons that prosperity never could. It humbles us. It reveals our blind spots. It forces us to surrender control. It makes us depend on God, not just for blessings, but for breath, for strength, for clarity. When you're in a painful season, it doesn't mean God has abandoned you. It means He's doing a deeper work that eyes can't see yet. He's building patience, shaping your integrity, stretching your faith, and sharpening your discernment. What looks like a breakdown is actually the scaffolding for a breakthrough. If you've been crying, feeling stuck, or wrestling with inner chaos, don't misinterpret the season. You're not being disqualified, you're being developed. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. Prepared to carry more, love deeper, lead stronger, and rise higher. There will be seasons in your life when heaven seems quiet, when your prayers feel like they're bouncing off the ceiling, when you seek answers and all you hear is stillness, and in that silence, doubt creeps in. You begin to wonder, did God forget me? Did I miss something? Am I even on the right path? But let me tell you this, the silence of God is not the absence of God. Silence is not abandonment. It is sacred. It is strategic. It is often the hidden place where some of God's deepest, most intimate work is done in you. Think about when a teacher gives a test. During the test, the teacher is silent, not because they've left the classroom, but because they're observing, watching to see what you've learned. In the same way, during your test, your dry season, God is watching, refining, and building you in ways that words can't express. In the silence, He's stripping away distractions. He's teaching you how to trust without tangible proof. He's anchoring your faith in who He is, not just what He does. You don't need to feel God to know He's present. His silence may feel painful, but it is deeply purposeful. This is the sacred space where identity is shaped, where character is carved, and where you become the person your future requires. If God answered too quickly, you might run ahead unprepared. But in the quiet, He's not just changing your situation, He's changing you. So don't despise the silence. Don't rush through it or try to fill it with noise. Instead, sit with it. Let it speak. Let it transform. Let it mature your faith. What feels like divine distance is often divine development in disguise. When life gets hard, our natural instinct is to run. Run from the pain. Run from the pressure. Run from the process. But here's the hard truth. Every time you run from what God is trying to develop in you, you reset the journey. You delay your destiny. You postpone your breakthrough. Avoidance feels good in the moment. It gives you temporary relief, but it robs you of permanent growth. Running might give you comfort, but it won't give you character. It might spare your feelings, but it won't build your future. You can't conquer what you keep avoiding, and you can't graduate from a season you refuse to stay in long enough to learn from. God doesn't rush the process because He's not just focused on getting you to the blessing. He's focused on building the version of you that can handle the blessing without crumbling. That version doesn't come through shortcuts. It comes through staying planted when everything in you wants to escape. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is to stay. Stay in the uncomfortable place. Stay in the tension. Stay in the silence. Because in the staying, something supernatural is happening. Your soul is maturing. Your faith is deepening. Your roots are growing stronger. Every time you refuse to run, you're saying to God, I trust your timing. I trust your wisdom. I trust that what you're doing in me is more important than what's happening around me. And that kind of trust, that deep, gritty, unwavering trust is what unlocks the next level of your purpose. It's easy to have faith when everything is going right, when the money is flowing, the doors are opening, and the prayers are being answered. But that's not where real faith is born. Real unshakable faith is built in the dark when there are no signs, no confirmations, no guarantees, and still you choose to believe. The dark seasons are where your faith is tested and strengthened. These are the moments when you can't trace God's hand, but you choose to trust His heart. When the answers don't come, the healing hasn't arrived, the dream feels distant,
persistent, and yet you say, God, I still believe you. It's in that unseen, quiet, uncomfortable place where faith becomes more than a word. It becomes a lifestyle. You learn to walk not by sight, but by conviction. You stop needing proof and start living by promise. And that's where transformation happens. God intentionally hides certain parts of your journey so you're not driven by comfort, but by commitment. He's not trying to confuse you. He's calling you to trust him on a deeper level. Faith is forged when everything in you wants to give up, but something in your spirit says, keep going. The dark isn't the enemy. It's the training ground. It's where you grow spiritual muscle. It's where you develop the kind of trust that won't fold under pressure. If you only trust God when it's light, then you'll fall apart when it gets dark. But when you've built faith in the dark, you'll stand firm no matter what comes your way. You may be looking at your current situation and wondering, why is this happening to me? You see closed doors, unanswered prayers, delay after delay, and it doesn't make sense. But here's the truth you need to hold on to. God sees what you can't yet see. His perspective is eternal. Yours is momentary. Where you see obstacles, God sees opportunity. Where you see endings, he sees divine beginnings. You're looking at one chapter. God's holding the whole book. You see the now, but God sees the next. He knows what's ahead, what needs to shift, what needs to grow, and even who needs to leave. And sometimes the very thing that feels like a loss is actually protection. Sometimes what feels like rejection is God's redirection towards something far greater. The pain you're feeling now might not make sense in the moment, but there is purpose beyond your understanding. God is not making random moves. He's making strategic ones. He's positioning you for something you're not ready for yet. That delay, it's building your strength. That heartbreak, it's teaching you wisdom. That detour, it's guiding you away from something that would have broken you. Just because you don't see the reason doesn't mean there isn't one. Trust that God's silence is not absence, and his vision is not limited by your reality. He's aligning people, resources, timing, and growth for your breakthrough. He's moving in places you don't even know exist yet. You may be frustrated with how things look right now, but never forget, God is already standing in your future. He's already prepared the blessing, the restoration, the elevation. All he asks is that you keep trusting him, even when you can't trace him, because one day you'll look back and say, now I see why that had to happen. Now I understand what God was doing. But until then, walk by faith, not by sight. We live in a world that celebrates speed, quick success, instant gratification, overnight results. But in the kingdom of God, breakthrough isn't about how fast you go. It's about how long you're willing to endure. It's not given to the swift. It's given to the steadfast. Those who don't quit in the middle. Those who press on when progress feels invisible. Those who choose to believe even when everything around them says it's not working. Endurance is the bridge between promise and fulfillment. It's what carries you through the pain, the waiting, the uncertainty. And here's the truth. Every great breakthrough is born in a place where quitting looked like the easier option. But those who break through are the ones who stay in the fight. Bruised but unbroken. Tired but still moving. Confused but still trusting. Endurance isn't glamorous. It doesn't always look powerful. Sometimes it's just getting out of bed one more day. Sometimes it's praying even when you feel nothing. Sometimes it's showing up when all you want to do is give up. But that quiet persistence, that refusal to quit, is what heaven honors. God never promised the journey would be easy, but he did promise that those who endure will reap a harvest. Not might, not maybe, will. But the harvest doesn't come to the one who starts fast and burns out. It comes to the one who stays when it's hard, remains when it's dark, and believes when it doesn't make sense. So if you're in the middle of your storm, in the middle of your battle, and you're tempted to throw in the towel, don't. Your endurance is proof that you're closer than you think. The enemy doesn't attack what isn't valuable. The pressure is a sign that purpose is near. The pain is often greatest right before the breakthrough is revealed. Right now, it might feel like you're walking through a storm without direction, wondering why things had to fall apart, why people left, why doors slammed shut, or why the pain won't stop. You're in the middle of something heavy, and it doesn't make sense. But just because it doesn't make sense now doesn't mean it never will. God is a master author, and he never writes meaningless chapters. You might not understand the why in this moment, but there will come a day, maybe months, maybe years from now, when you'll look back and say, that season shaped me, that pain taught me, that silence built me, that delay saved me. What confused you will one day become clear. What hurt you will one day reveal how God was healing you. This season is not random. It's not wasted. It's not punishment. It's purpose in disguise. And often, the deepest work of God happens behind the scenes when it seems like nothing is happening. But he's always working on your heart, your mindset, your capacity, and your future. God is weaving a bigger story than you can currently see. And what feels like detours are often divine direction. What feels like loss is sometimes his protection. And what feels like delay is really preparation for something beyond your imagination. You don't have to have all the answers today. You don't have to understand everything right now. What you need is trust. Radical trust that the God who led you into this season will lead you out stronger, wiser, and ready, because one day you'll connect the dots. One day it'll all click. One day you'll be standing in your breakthrough with tears in your eyes, whispering, "Now I see it. God was with me the whole time." So if you're in a season that feels confusing, painful, or just unbearably quiet, don't run. Don't give up. Don't mistake this valley for a dead end. Because what you're walking through right now isn't the end of your story. It's the birthing ground of your breakthrough. God is not done with you. He's using this pain, this pressure, this process to prepare something greater than you could ever imagine. What you're carrying is bigger than the storm you're facing. And when the breakthrough comes, and it will, you won't just be standing on the other side healed. You'll be standing on the other side transformed. So breathe, stay, endure, trust, because this pain has a purpose, and your breakthrough is being built right in the middle of this season.